So in blackjack, there are some rules, some basic rules, and some complex rules. So there are some basic rules. So you want to get to as close as 21 without going over. If you're dealt a 21, that is a blackjack. Some casinos play with 5-card Charlies. That means that if you get 5 cards without busting, you automatically win no matter what your point value is. Some casinos play with 6-card Charlies, though they're very risky to attempt because by the time you get to a 5-card Charlie, you're likely to have a lot of points. So you get dealt 2 cards. Initially, we thought it was in this kind of format, but that only applies to the dealer. That is an example of a blackjack. The way that we thought blackjack was played is actually completely wrong. All the players get their cards dealt face up like that. And if one player wins, all of the players win. The goal is to beat the dealer. The way that means my friend thought it was played is wrong. As for the dealer, they have 1 card face up and 1 card face down. If they have a blackjack, which they appear to do, then they immediately get to show their cards face up. And that means that the players lose unless another player happens to have a blackjack. So, as for the player, they can hit on a 17. It's not a recommended decision, however, and there's good reason. There is less than a 25% chance you won't bust on your next card due to a 17. But the dealer must stick on 17 and they cannot hit themselves. So you have a 17. So now the dealer gets his cards. Oh yeah, there's a tropical storm coming, so it's gonna be windy. So as the dealer, they're obviously below 16, so they have to take a hit. Seriously? Okay, well now that all 52 cards are scattered all over the place, I won't. If you're wondering, the dealer got a 7, so that's an 18. An 18 is pretty good, and it beats their 17. Therefore, the dealer gets their money. Blackjack is paid at a 3-2 payout. So if they bet $50, they actually get $7.50. But if you double up on 2 aces, if you split on 2 aces, then none of that applies. And there are some other complex procedures that we have to go over. But first I have to get all my 52 cards, because that stupid win. And one of them is basically destroyed. Nice. Well, it looks like I won't be able to use the 9 of clubs. Thanks a lot. And that means that I need a new 9 of clubs. That's these. If it's like on dry land, I'm not as worried about it as if it's wet, and especially if it's face down. But sorry, I'm just as annoyed as you are. Oh my god, it went on the grass. How did it get all the way on the grass? Yeah. So the dealer has some complicated procedures, and there are some other complicated procedures. And so there are some things you need to know, and this kind of puts it all into one guide. Oh, look, the 7 of clubs. And the ace of clubs. I'm going to try not to, manually force any cards. But I don't think that there's any sort of doubling. Put them on the bottom. So the goal is to beat the dealer. So the dealer, one of their cards is face down. And when all the players have hit, they reveal their card. So we obviously know on a 17 that a player can hit, though it's not recommended, and the dealer must stick. So the player got dealt a 16. That is a bad hand. That is a bad hand. Therefore, therefore the dealer has to hit. If they're the dealer, they hit. They got a perfect 21. I personally recommend hitting on a 16, except in cases where the dealer is seen has a 6 on top, but it's likely they have a 16, meaning that it's likely that they're going to bust. But at the 21, that is not a blackjack, however. You need to have an ace to have a blackjack, and then a 10-point card. So that is an ace and a 5. You never want to stick on a soft 16. Reason is because on a soft 16, you never want to stick on a 16. This ace can either be a 1 or 11. Now you have a soft 18. I'd personally recommend hitting, as there's around 5% bigger odds of you winning. Oh look, a jack. Now we have no choice. So now we have our 4 cards, and they total up to an 18. What does the dealer have? Well, the dealer has to stick, but they have a 19. So obviously there's a card rule. So if the dealer had gone 18, even if they were dealt an 18, it's actually better. Blackjack again. And the dealer doesn't have a blackjack, so they automatically lose. So that's kind of like the basics, but there is more complex stuff. So when you're dealt your initial hand, there are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, I don't know what surrender is, so we're not going to talk about surrender. And we can't double down. You don't have under an 11. If you have an 11, under any circumstance, you should double down. And if they have a 10, in most cases, you should double down unless the dealer has an ace on top, even if they don't have a blackjack. But we can't. We have a 17, so we can either hit, stand, and we can't double because they're not identical on the face. So we can either hit or stick, and because there's a 17, we're going to stick. Now our other player gets to go. They have a 4 and a 2. If you have a 6, you do not want to double down because it's very likely you'll have a 16, which is not a good thing. So they're going to take a hit. Now they're at 11. Now they do want to double down, and I have to go get my coins, and I'm hoping that they don't fly off. I have my coins out for a reason. I'm just going to take a couple coin. Yes. I have a couple of pennies. Okay. Oh God. Not again. Okay. Just seems to have been that. I'm going to go pick up the cards. So there's a 5. There wasn't a queen, so I'm just gonna put that quietly back. Because like cards are so light, and there's a strong wind. So really all it takes is like a strong 5-mile-an-hour gust. Like all it takes is a 5-mile-an-hour gust. Yes, there was a 2 and there was a 4. So we have all of the cards settled. Oh God. I'm just gonna put my phone there so it won't blow away. Okay. So I said the ante is 1. When you double down, that means that you double the size of your bet. And no matter what the dealer has, it's recommended. So the dealer has a king on top. So now they're going to take another card and they're going to stick because now they have 21. So now it's the dealer's turn. They will reveal their card and they have a 14. Therefore, they must take a card and now they're going to stick at 20. So he has to pay the dealer, but the dealer in return has to pay them. I'm not really going to show you double down again because it involves coins, but splitting is actually going to be fairly difficult. So I might have to forge the results just a little bit. Yeah. So, oh. Well, I guess the card is just going to be face up. Because I am an idiot and I put it the wrong way. Or we break off these cards. Put them on the top over here. Because there are a couple of doubles in here. So they have an 8 and a queen. Player one has an 8 and a queen. The other player has an ace and an ace. Ace and an ace. You always double up with an ace and an ace. Yes, I have to forge the results a little bit. And then let's take one additional card, and that is it. So on this hand, they have a 21. It is not a blackjack because it wasn't dealt. They were dealt an ace-ace, but they have a 21. On this hand, they are not allowed to hit. They are stuck with a 15. They are not allowed to hit. The reason is because ace is so overpowered that they have to put additional restrictions. Had they, say, gotten another ace, they would have been stuck with the 12, and they wouldn't have been allowed to re-split again. There are a lot of restrictions on doubling up with an ace. Ace and ace should always be split. When you split, you put a same bet. If it's one coin, you put another coin over there, but it's 4 different hands. And ace and ace should be split no matter what. Our other player has 2 kings. Kings should never be split, although they are the exact same. They can be split, but you already had a 20, so splitting makes no sense. If you do decide to split, they have another king, so they got lucky. They have another 20. But on the other hand, they're stuck with 16. 16 is a bad thing. They're going to take a hit, and they got lucky. They have 20 again. But they got very lucky when this happened, and it is nowhere near recommended. So we're going to put all these cards back, but now we're just going to pretend that the dealer. We're just going to pretend that it's the dealer. So this is for this one, and then we're going to do another one for another time. So that's face down for now. So they have a 2 and a queen. They're going to take a hit, and now they're going to stick. Dealers cannot double up. They beat them because they have 20. They both have 20, but they add in fewer cards. Yes, you do. You also want to get in the least amount of cards possible. So what do they have? They have a 9. So they're going to take a hit, and now they're going to stick with 18. The dealer is going to reveal his card. He has an ace. This is prime time to double up, but the house cannot split. House cannot split. Even for aces and eights. Eights are the other ones. But it's for a different reason. So you can only split if you have the same cards, and if you're not the dealer. So they have a 12 because the first ace for a dealer is automatically an 11 unless it would cause them to bust. Now they're at a 15, they must take another hit. dealer busts, which is the prime example. Now, you might be able to say, well, wait a minute, couldn't they have put the ace as a 1? No. In fact, if we replace this ace, now they're at a 16. 16, 15. Side, that doesn't work. 21, 20, side, that doesn't work. Yes, this is a good example. So if they were dealt this initial ace, before, assuming it wasn't their initial hand, assuming that they didn't have a 10 and a 3 before, wait, no, that's a bad example. I can't really explain. Really, what I'm just trying to say is that is that dealer's ace is always an 11 unless it would cause them to bust. Yes. Okay, so there's a 9, a 13, and the dealer has a 10 on top. So we have a 7 and a 2. And they have a 19. They have 20, and the dealer has a 20. Dealer wins, though, because they got in 2 cards. Card count is critical.